You know, the worst thing about having problems, and we all have difficulties of one kind or another, the worst thing is that very often people allow themselves to become blackmailed by their problems. Now, that may not seem to make much sense, but think about it for a minute. Did you ever find yourself worrying as much about having some problem as you do about the problem itself? Do you get so overwhelmed by its immensity that you become sure there's no way out, no way you can solve it? Do you let it intimidate and overwhelm you? Well then, my friend, you're blackmailing yourself as sure as if some evil person were holding a terrible threat over your head, and you were so ashamed that you let him get away with it. You see, the trouble is that you start thinking the problem is bigger than you are. Instead of saying, I have a problem, you decide, I am the problem. Now, you know how you should handle a blackmailer? There's only one way. Stand up to him and say, I'm not afraid of you or what you know about me. That's what you must say to yourself. There's nothing terrible about having problems, nothing to be ashamed of. It's how you face them and handle them that counts. Don't be afraid to know yourself, and don't be afraid to know your problems. It's only through facing and knowing and understanding them that you can begin to solve them. When you find yourself overwhelmed and think there's no solution to your problems, you may very well be thinking in a box. Today, one of the most popular pastimes in our country is solving puzzles. People pay to buy puzzles and sit for hours solving them as a hobby. They do it for fun, when they won't take the time to solve the puzzles they create for themselves in their own lives. There's a puzzle you may have seen. It's a drawing of a box with some dots in it, and the idea is to connect all the dots with only 4 lines. Well, you can work and work on that puzzle, but the only way to solve it is to draw the lines so they connect outside the box. It's so simple once you realize that. But if you're thinking inside the box, you'll never find the solution to that puzzle. Maybe that's the way it is with your thinking. Maybe there are solutions you haven't even thought of because you're thinking in a box. You've got to approach your problems creatively. Stop moaning and groaning and thinking they're bigger than you are. Try to get a different perspective, a fresh point of view. Step outside that box and come at it from a different direction. You may find that the solution is really pretty simple after all.